Hello everyone, welcome all to OpenVox Online Product Introduction Conference. This is Celine from Marketing Department. Today my colleague, Engineer Echo Duan, and I will host this conference. Last month, we've given a quick installation and a configuration introduction of UC Series products to you. This time, we will introduce our SWG Series wireless gateways. The whole conference includes 4 parts. The first part is hardware features and installation. The second part is software configuration. The third part is application scenarios. And the final part is Q&A session. Now it's the first part. We will show you the hardware features and installation of wireless gateways. The first generation of SWG Series gateways has 2 released versions, SWG 1016C and SWG 1016G. The relevant parameters of these 2 products can be found on our website. Today we will introduce the gateways in details. Compared with the first generation of these 2 wireless gateways, the second generation has been improved a lot in hardware, as it is showed in following comparison. We can see that here are 2 devices, SWG 1016, the first generation of our SWG series gateway, and SWG 2032, the second generation. In terms of SWG 1016, it's equipped with an external power adapter, a network interface, and 2 USB ports. The biggest advantage is the LCD display screen that can display the signal quality and call status of each channel in real time. As for SWG 2032, it's the second generation of our SWG series gateways, which has been improved a lot in hardware. It's equipped with a built-in power adapter and 2 network interfaces. Besides, it's been added with an RJ45 serial port and 2 storage interfaces, including a USB port and a TF card slot, supporting U-Disk and TF card separately. Next to the screen, we can see there are 3 multi-function buttons in order to get the device information on the screen and achieve some symbol communication easily. This table is about the hardware comparison. Next is the installation introduction. Here are a SWG 2032G, an Ethernet switch, an OpenVox IP phone, and a UC500. Connect them all according to the scenario topology. Here is the SWG 2032G wireless gateway. We've powered it on just now. You can see the system is loading, which takes about 1 minute. Then we connect the network interface 1 of the gateway to the network switch with network cable, so that the gateway is connected to the local area network. Now you can see the system is still loading. Okay, now you can see the status of each channel on the screen, which means the gateway system has been loaded completely. Then we connect the UC500 to the local area network. More information about the UC series products configuration, please find it in the last conference video. This IP phone is an OpenVox product C401. What we need to do is to connect the WAN port of the IP phone to the network switch with network cable and power on the phone. So far, the hardware installation is finished. Now it's the second part, software configuration. First of all, let's show you how to make a successful call. On the back of SWG 2032G, here is a label where you can find valuable information to manage the device, such as the default IP address, username, and password. The default IP address of network port 1 is 172.16.98.1. If you want to get access into the SWG 2032G gateway, firstly, we have to change the IP of the computer to the network segment, while the SWG 2032G network port 1 is located at. Then open the browser and enter 172.16.98.1 to get into the system. Okay, now we find the network LAN settings page for network settings. You can choose the default factory IP, static IP, or DHCP. Remember to enter your DNS server. Then we enter the new IP address in browser to get access into the gateway. Then we find the VoIP endpoint page. Click Add the new SIP endpoint to add the SIP trunk. There are three types of registration: server, client, and none. In server mode, the gateway acts as an SIP server, accepting registrations from SIP extensions. In client mode, the gateway acts as a SIP client, which sends registration to SIP servers. In none mode, the gateway and SIP server are connected with IP and port authentication. Here we select the client mode, create a SIP trunk 123. This gateway will be registered with UC500 IP PBX. Firstly, find the routing group page. Click the new group to create a GSM group, which includes all GSM ports. Then we create an outbound route. Call comes in from. Choose the created SIP trunk 123. Send call through. Choose JSON group. Then the outbound route has been created, which means the incoming calls received from SIP trunk 123 will be called out via JSON group. Next, we create an inbound route. Call comes in from. Choose JSON group. Send call through. Choose the SIP trunk 123. Then the inbound route has been created, which means the incoming calls received from JSON group will be sent to SIP trunk 123. Next, we need to configure a SIP trunk 123 on UC500 to connect to the wireless gateway. Besides, we have to configure inbound and outbound routes for the SIP trunk. And assign account 105 to IP phone C401. Calls from SIP 123 will be transformed to SIP account 105. When we use IP phone C401 call your mobile phone, it will be sent to wireless gateway via SIP trunk 123. Alright, all configurations have been finished. Refresh the gateway's homepage. We can see that the SIP trunk 123 has been registered successfully. Okay, now let's make a call. We will use C401 to call a mobile phone. And then we use the mobile phone to call back to the telephone number of port 1. Okay, the call demonstration is finished. Now we will show you SMS function of the wireless gateway. There are two ways for the gateway to send messages. Send messages directly on web pages and via API. In order to record the incoming and outgoing messages in inbox and outbox, we need to open 3 buttons: SMS received, SMS local stored, and SMS status report. Firstly, let's show you how to send a message to check balance on the web page. 1. Choose to send messages via port 1 and enter the number of receiving SMS in destination number. 2. Fill in the message content in box message. Click Send to send the message. 3. If you want to send messages for the group, you can enter multiple numbers in the destination number, separated by spaces, semicolons, and other symbols. For example, we select port 1, enter 10086, 10086, 2 numbers in the destination number, and click Send to send the message. Message is sending. And now from the SMS report, we can see that port 1 has sent 2 messages to 10086 at the same time. Okay, our SMS has been sent successfully. We can see related records in outbox and inbox. Next, let's show you how to send a message on SMS API. 1. In the SMS settings page, open HTTP to SMS and SMS to HTTP. In terms of HTTP to SMS, we choose the default username and passwords. As for SMS to HTTP, we need to fill in the information of HTTP server. Two, we have installed an HTTP server and can use it directly. In the browser, enter the IP address of the HTTP server 172.16.80.216. Fill in the IP of the gateway, the number of receiving message, and the message content. Click the button Send to send the message. Sorry to say there's something wrong with the HTTP server, and we will show you this function later. Now we will go on to the next section. Now it's the third part, application scenarios. Scene 1. If your company needs to assign a SIM card to each extension's firmware, you can use the feature batch creating rules. For example, the SIP extensions 101 and 102 are on the UC500 by default, and an analog phone 200 is connected to the UC502. We will follow this mapping plot to let each extension use a fixed port on the gateway. Follow these steps. 1. Enter the gateway's batch creating rules page. The SIP trunk is used to connect to UC500. Select the SIP trunk 123 that we've created just now. 2. How do I make each extension use a fixed port on the gateway? We do this through SIM number and caller ID matching. The SIM numbers are in corresponding with the DID number of inbound route page on UC500. If port 1 is fixed to SIP extension 101, its caller ID is 101. If port 2 is fixed to SIP extension 102, its caller ID is 102. If port 3 is fixed to analog phone 200, its caller ID is 200. 3. After all of these configurations, click Save to finish creating a successful route. Assign 101 to C200. Then the SIP account 101 will be registered. Now we will use SIP extension 101 across a mobile phone. You can see that it was called out through port 1. Next, we will use the mobile phone to call the telephone number of port 1. You can see it calls in through port 1. Next, we use the analog phone 200 to call the mobile phone. You can see that it was called out through port 3. And next, we will use the mobile phone to call the telephone number of port 3. You can see it calls in through port 3. Scene 2. If you just need a simple PBX without any complex PBX features such as IVR, queue, conference, and so on, then you can also use our gateway as a PBX. It can handle basic PBX functions. 1. Go to the VoIP endpoint page. Click Add new SIP endpoint to add SIP extension 124. In box registration, choose server. Then use this gateway as a SIP server for other devices to register. 2. Create an outbound route for this SIP. Call comes in from. Choose the created SIP extension 124. Send the call through, choose port 2, so that an outbound route has been created, from which the call received from SIP extension 124 is sent to port 2. Next, we create an inbound route. Call comes in from, choose port 2. Send call through, choose SIP extension 124. So that inbound route has been created, which means the incoming calls received from port 2 will be sent to extension 124. Now we will use C401 to register extension 124 on the gateway and make a call. You can see that the call goes out through port 2 at this time. And when calls comes in from port 2, it will be sent to extension 124. Okay, now it's the final part, Q&A session. My colleague Echo will take charge of this part. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask her. Thank you.
Hello, this is Echo. Any questions?
Hello everybody. Any question about this new released wireless gateway? Please feel free to ask our engineer Echo. Sorry to say, just now there's something wrong with our HTTP server, and now we've solved the problem, and we will show you the HTTP server function again. In the browser, we will enter the IP address of the HTTP server 172.16.80.216 and fill in the IP of the gateway, the number of receiving message, and the message content. Click. Then we click the button Send to send the message. And then we click Receive to see the message received on the gateway. Similarly, related records can be seen in Outbox and Inbox. This is the HTTP server function.